Right, thank you very much for that. I don't think this will take the full amount of time. It's a relatively short presentation, so hopefully we won't steal any of your break time away from you. I just want to give a quick update on Fedora's sort of near future plans and how you can get involved with the community. So, first off, we have Fedora 6.5.1 around the corner. We hope to be releasing it in the coming weeks, although it's possible that things have been pushed a little bit due to time constraints recently. But I wanted to let you know that 6.5.1 should contain, and Josh alluded to this in the last presentation, improved S3 OCFL performance around write speeds in particular. This comes from the OCFL Java making some changes to the S3 implementation, which we then call in the FC repo storage OCFL package. Um, so that was coming along with OCFL Java 2.1.0, which we've now included. We've made a lot of documentation enhancements. We've improved the documentation around the put operation over a tombstone record, reverse proxy behavior, Docker container paths, inode usage and considerations around inode usage and maximizing them. We've documented the mutable head extension, which hadn't been well described before. We've also included bug fixes for re-indexing access control lists, including the access control list in the container metadata when it shouldn't have been. Tombstone's returning an accept datetime header for deleted resources. Usernames with spaces, which were breaking functionality, particularly in Islandora. Camel Toolbox had a thread weight, which has been removed to improve the CPU hogging, and a lot of smaller bug fixes that I was probably far too many to actually mention here alone. So as I said, we hope to be getting that out of the door in the coming weeks. So follow the usual communication channels for more information on that. And then beyond 6.5.1, we're looking to do a major refresh of the underlying frameworks and libraries to bring them up to their latest versions. So this is things like Swing, Postgres, ActiveMQ, the actual Java version that's supported, and many other major libraries that we include that build the Fedora stack. This is a major update for us, especially the Swing improvements. We're going a major version higher with Swing. So there's going to be a bit of, a lot of work to do to make sure that all of our tests still pass. Jared Wickler has already done some work on this, and it's looking promising. But what we will see here is, a massive benefit in terms of anyone that's having their institutions do security scans on their software stacks and returning older versions. We have a lot of libraries that will ping up on security scans at the moment. Not that they're actually exploitable, but the versions will still hit on a security scan, which is unfortunate. We're also looking at doing a user interface refresh. First of all, we're going to look at accessibility and try and meet the national and international standards, such as the WCAG 2.2, the revised 508 standards, and European legislations around accessibility for websites and web interfaces. We're also looking to overhaul the interface and research into any new functionality that people may want, taking use cases from the community. It comes up time and time again that people are using the user interface more than we'd maybe first anticipated. It was always designed as a sort of back-end feature to just get a view on your records, but people seem to like it. So we're looking at improving that, increasing the functionality. And if you have got anything that you would like to see in that, please do let us know over the coming weeks. Although we will be going out and questioning the community once again on that more directly. We're also going to continue the performance testing work in the background that's been ongoing. We want to document some sort of maximums around what you can expect Fedora to be able to perform for you and what sort of timescales to what sort of sizes and numbers of records and sizes of files. We want to be able to actually find out what those limits are. We've already done a reasonable amount of work on this, but there's more to be done, and especially around the documentation of our findings. We also have several ongoing tickets which didn't quite make the cut for 6.5.1 due to time constraints, and we'll be including those in the next major release. So, on to how people can get involved with the Fedora project. Uh, Firstly, I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for already being involved. It's great to see so many familiar faces here present at the showcase this week. This presentation is not a call to action. You're already actively involved in the community. What we'd like to do here is perhaps broaden your awareness of some of the activities that you and your co-workers could participate in beyond what you're already doing. So, first of all, the communication channels, getting involved with the user community via supporting other users by monitoring the Slack channels. It would seem that the tech channel, the migration channel, and the general channels are the most used. Um, Aaron has already provided access to the form for gaining access to the Slack, but hopefully she can maybe post it in the chat again here while I talk away. Um, it's not just for committers or developers, especially the tech channel. They're a great way to support each other with your own experiences and use cases and share best practice and learn from your fellow community members. They're a great place to hang out and just see what everyone else is up to as well. Beyond Slack, we have the Fedora Tech and Fedora Users Google groups. They're not as popular as they once were, perhaps. I think people are moving towards the sort of the chat facilities like Slack these days, but they are still there, and we do still monitor and respond to questions there. And then there's the weekly tech meetings, which happen on our Zoom tech call on a Thursday afternoon UK time. I think is it I want to say midday Eastern time. I'd have to check. I forget Eastern time. But those
11 a.m.
11,
Eastern.
thank you, Aaron. Um, those are well worth attending. We welcome anyone there, not just technical discussion. If you want to come along and tell us about your migration, ask us questions, use it as a support network. That is absolutely what it's there for. And it's great just to see more and more people turning up and communicating with us through that channel in particular. And then advocacy. Uh, we're really keen for people to get out there and advocate for Fedora in the wider community. Anytime that you mention Fedora within external meetings, conference papers, etc., it's always beneficial to us. One of the most popular forms of advocacy we see, though, is through conference papers. Um, here's just a list of some of the conferences in our circuit that speakers have been advocated for Fedora in the recent months. We've been at Open Repositories, CNI, iPres, Samvera Connect, Code for Lib, and Islandoracon. Next month, I'll be heading to FedraCon to give a community update and meet the wider Fedra community, which we haven't been involved with so much in recent months. Um, conference papers are a great way to talk about your experiences with Fedora, especially due to the negative press that perhaps Fedora had over previous years through Fedora 4 and 5 with performance issues. Um, we're in a much better place now, and people are really starting to realize that. And there's an awful lot of positivity around Fedora 6 and onwards. So the more we can do to encourage people, the better, I think, in that respect. The more users we've got out there, the more bug reports we get, the more we can get user stories and ways to improve the software. We get more feedback, we get more performance testing. So the more people using it, the better. Um, Another way is testing. First of all, we have the releases that I've already mentioned, 6.5.1 and beyond. All of those releases need testing each time we do a release. We hope to keep to a regular rhythm of releases in order to keep those releases coming. We also need people to test them. So it's really helpful to have people that are not just responsible for the development to test new features and bugs, but a fresh pair of eyes can sometimes highlight something which was missed the first time around. It's not just new releases that require testing, though. Each week there are issues being discussed in the tech channel that I already mentioned, and we're developing those fixes each week. We need those issues to be tested as well. Again, you don't always necessarily need an in-depth technical knowledge of Fedora. A lot of these issues can be tested with in the user interface or with very simple scripting. So please do, if you think you can assist with some sort of testing, come along and have a chat with us there. Um, Another way you can get involved is through documentation. We have a large, sprawling wiki. It does need some attention. We're aware of that. Um, the way we host it at the moment makes the search return results from all of the different versions of Fedora. So there's a different wiki space, as they're named in Confluence, for each of the different versions over time. We're starting to move away from that practice, but it doesn't make finding resources particularly easy. So today we have a documentation workathon scheduled for the last session of the day, um, and the outputs of that will improve that documentation. No matter what your experience level is, you'll be able to find a task that is suitable, and hopefully you'll be able to find and provide and make a valuable contribution to our documentation that way. And that's it. Thank you very much for being part of the community. I hope to see more and more people getting involved. If you've got any questions about how you can do so, please do ask me now. Thank you.